Good afternoon. Welcome to the Wake Up Call Network. I'm your host, David Frankel. The show is the Perky Collar TV and radio show. And today's guest is Pierre Wooten, and he's created a game called Seasons. And today you're going to be a part of learning how to play the game and have fun at home as well. Welcome, Pierre.
Thank you. Thank you, David. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate you being here. And as you know from previous episodes, it's all about who is this entrepreneur, why did he become an entrepreneur, why did he create this game, and you're about to find out the answers to all those questions here shortly. So I'll let Pierre start. Tell us about the game and why you created it.
Yes, so I'll start with why I created, and all that is all together. One is to unite people. As a former professional athlete, I've crossed this entire world, and I've seen, I was telling Annie and them that there's three things that unites people: food, music, and games. I don't care what it is that always unites us. So it was really created to unite families, friends, people of all walks of life, and also being able to play with a purpose.
Excellent. And alcohol is not listed one of the top three. Is that 4 or 5? Or?
Well, you know, I've been to those countries where Czech Republic, France, where that's part of it. But part of the game, my three is the music, the food, and the games.
Okay, good. I mean, it could be wine. We can go for an elegant card game too. You don't have to talk about.
That's right.
It's not beer pong we're talking here. Excellent. So tell us how it works.
Yeah. So really simple. If you played the game called Phase 10, it's the second most commercial grossing game in the entire world that's made by Mattel. This is the biblical or the Christian version of Phase 10. So essentially,
the alcohol not involved.
Right.
Excellent. I get it. So you got to pay attention.
That's right.
Okay.
So essentially, you have there's 5 phases in the game. So in phase 10, you have 10, but here we have 5 phases, and it allows you to go from one season to the next season. So the first season basically says you have to have a requested number of cards, and that first season says you have to have one history Bible book and any 2 pairs. So one history Bible book can be Joshua, Judges, Ruth, anything in the history. So what we're trying to create here is not just understanding the books of the Bible, but also the categories of the books of the Bible. And you don't have to be a Bible scholar to know this. So in the rule book, we also have a glossary, if you want to call it, or a list of all the books of the Bible that allows you to have a quick reference. But it unites people to be able to have conversations about the Bible, whether good or bad. And I think that's one of the greatest things that we can have is communication.
And have you seen it implemented by churches across the country, or what groups? Obviously, if you can make education fun, that's a win-win all around. And you found churches and church groups and Bible studies and youth groups adopting this for
I've met
trips and Sunday service and so on and so forth.
I've met with missionaries, and the first thing they tell you is that when we go overseas, we go wherever it is, even here in the homeland, is they use card games to get people engaged, involved. So it's been very highly liked at churches. I met with Morningstar here in Charlotte. They love it. I've met with Billy Graham Library and with pending sales there in one meeting, one call. Barnes & Noble colleges, one meeting, one call. We're approved vendor. Follett also, which is the largest campus retailer in the nation, in one call, one meeting, we were approved vendor. We have university that has it. We have churches that have it. We've sold in over 20. I always undershoot, just be on the safe side. 20 some states, and also another country as well.
Wow! Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That adoption is incredible. Because ultimately, anything you try and I don't know how much people that are watching understand entrepreneurship and invention, but anything that's innovative, anything that's new, you always have your naysayers.
That's right.
You always say, hey, oh, they're going to have a game like that, or that'll never work, or why are you wasting your time? To get people to adopt it on a one call is impressive. Because again, they're afraid to carry this game because that means somebody else has to go off the shelf for your game to go on the shelf.
That's right.
And that's tough to convey when you're talking to a business that doesn't want to take a lot of chances, especially when it comes to maybe a religious game that maybe people adopt, don't adopt, or I got to read every card before I put it in my store because I might have people that buy it. People of all ages. You have the seniors down to the kids are playing the game, and there may be something offensive in there. And then all of a sudden they get the backlash from the stores, and all these different things happen. So to get early adopters is quite impressive. I assume you have them go through several of the cards.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And look, I've got my naysayers as well, so
of course. I'm
not afraid of that. As that professional athlete, that's part of your DNA is understanding how to push through. Even when you hear that no, there's no doubt in my mind that when I reach out to the inventor of Phase 10, Ken Johnson, him being able to walk me through the copyright process step by step and not charge me a dime.
Wow.
I think what people understand is that when they look at the individual, whether you're selling something, they want to say, do I trust David? Do I trust Pierre?
Right.
And they can trust me, and even if they start doing the legwork in the background, they're like, wow, this guy's legit. So in one phone call, really in one email with Ken Johnson, I emailed him, I sent him my Hall of Fame link, and just as credibility. And Dave, you know, I don't even like talking about myself, so it's always kind of odd to do that, but there's the credibility step that I needed to do that so he understand this is just not a regular email. I really have a vision. This is something that God provided and gave to me that I know I'm going to walk it out, and he's going to use somebody, and he happened to use me on that. So I'm grateful for that. And at one email, he said, hey, he emailed me back, and then I said, well, why don't we talk? On one phone call, he went from you can do this to we can do this. He says there's 3 options that I'm going to give you. You can partner with me, and we can go to Mattel. It's going to take it's probably going to take a process because they are over that stage of a lot of the things because now he's getting royalties on it. 2 is that I can self-publish, which is probably the hardest route.
Sure.
And then you have to do all the marketing. And the other one is that you go into retailers and try to get them in. So I actually elected, I said, well, if God has given me this vision, and not prematurely, if God has given me this vision and I have to wait a year, sometimes we will have to wait. But also, I went on and self-published. I did all the manufacturing, did the design. I didn't do the design, but I kind of mapped it out and worked with people that I trust and worked with manufacturers to get all this out. So the naysayers actually drove me more than anything because now I got those yeses where it's like, wow. And I think we're still scratching the surface because we still have not done all the things that I know we can do. And now we're starting to get partnerships. We got invited to go to the largest Christian homeschool event in the nation. It's called Great Homeschool Convention. And David, not only that, I had a chance to lead a session called Cultivating Christian Creativity. The same platform that Dr. Ben Carson spoke at. There's people from the Holocaust. I'm throwing a blank on his name that has no arms that speaks across the entire world. This is the same platform that God allowed me to go there. So all these things are happening. There's going to be naysayers. There's going to be people say no. You got a perfect product right there, Perky collar. I purchased it for my dad. So it's things that people, you're going to hear things, but you have to keep moving forward.
He didn't say it for himself. We'll let that slide. Go ahead.
I'm getting myself too. But yeah, we're just so excited for where this game is going to go, and it's beyond us. Always keep in mind that it's so beyond us that this will go to the world.
That's excellent. And there's lots of, I do a lot of church conventions all across the country, and they sell different sermons, they sell books, so why not sell games?
That's right.
That can be educational. Like you can learn the Bible in a fun, enjoyable way instead.
That's right. And there's really, I believe that we are going to, I know that we're entering into a $1 billion industry where there's really no Bible. The hardest thing for me is saying, do I say Bible? Do I say Christian? Just being honest, right. Because most people have the issue with a Christian, but they don't have an issue with the Bible. Right. So I had that talk with many pastors, like, hey, what do I say? I don't want to offend somebody, but I don't want to feel like I'm a sellout as well. And that's just real. Anybody that talks to me, they understand that you're going to get the real Pierre. There's not any facade that's on there. I'll tell you my ups and I'll tell you my downs. And even when I speak across the entire nation, been invited to the White House, the West Wing twice, all these different things that we've done. There's things that I tell people that, one, I can impress you with all the things that I've done, but I'd rather impact you with my failures. And that sounds crazy, but I'm in for impacting people's lives, not just, hey, I did this, I did that. It's like, who cares? Right.
That's fantastic. Give us an example, because obviously a lot of people watching and listening as well, they want to bring a game to market. They have a great idea. Mm-hmm. Give us an idea of some of the trials and tribulations you've been through and how you got past it.
Oh, man.
Having a great mentor, I'm sure.
Yeah.
The Phase 10 was a big help.
Was a huge help.
Helped lead the way a little bit.
But there's a part also where he's kind of not telling me every single step because he's gauging, is this really a good partner for me? Mm-hmm. So first question that he said, well, how many times have you play tested? And I told him at that point, I was like, maybe 4 or 5 times. He said, thank you for telling me that, because most people tell me I did it all these times, but they haven't done that. So there was a trust thing right there for him. So I think the biggest thing for me was making sure that it was fit to go to market. And the biggest thing that he referred me to, he said, when you can put it on the table, walk away, and people can play it, that's when you know you have something. So my biggest challenge, I would say, really has been in manufacturing, because when you're dealing with someone in another country, you don't really know what you don't know. So you have to be very cautious of that. And even when you're purchasing that, I didn't do any pre-orders. I wanted to make sure that when I didn't want something to go wrong based off of me pre-ordering you not getting something. I made sure that it was already done, and I used my own money, and then we want to make sure that we got it out there. So when you order it, you know you're going to get it within 3 to 5 days.
So let's talk about packaging. Because
Yes.
if you expect people to go up to your game and play it without you,
Mm-hmm.
packaging becomes crucial.
That's
I learned that very
absolutely.
quickly in the Perky collars. Like, it just looks like a piece of plastic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it looks like a headband. A lot of people tell me that. And I was like, well, that's because that's where the idea came from.
Right.
So I had to package it very carefully so that people could look up, go to the box, read the 3 simple steps,
Mhm.
and understand how it works. So I would assume the game is more complex because you have instructions inside.
That's right.
And people think of games as multiple steps, setting up the board games, setting up the table, how many cards each person get. How did you go about doing your packaging? Because it can be very overwhelming
Yes.
to do packaging because it's got to be attractive, it's got to
That's
have the
right.
right colors,
Mhm.
but it also has to convey very clearly what it is and how it works quickly because people don't read stuff.
People don't read it.
So it's got to be simple. So walk us through a little bit about the packaging journey you went on.
So I'm completely transparent. That is one thing that I got from Go Games. And we're in the process right now of getting into all their stores at this very moment. That was the first thing he said, that if we had it in the store, at their particular store, that we may have to rebrand it or do something else that says Bible card game. Because in my mind, I was thinking that, having the books of the Bible here was probably more than enough and not being overkill. But he was saying, if we just put a little sticker here, we put something here that just says Bible card game. That way you can look from across the store and say, that's a Bible card game.
Right.
So that's a big challenge for me. So we have to, but right now the way I resolve that challenge is a lot of the things are with social media right now. So if you can put that out there and there's the branding from that perspective, that's a good bit of our sales has come from that. Obviously, we've done Follett where they're doing their own marketing, and I can go and speak at that particular venue to actually do a release as well, similar to a book release.
Excellent. Let me take a look at the packaging as well, just so the viewers can see as well. So you got the front cover with the books, you got the side, and it's got the contents here. I don't know if you can see, it's kind of small. 129 cards and gameplay. Action-packed, rummy-type game. The name says it all. But beware, breakthrough could change everything. Got the playseasons.com. That's important to know. How do you get this great game? Playseasons.com.
Playseasons.com. Right now, with the better deal, we have it /Christmas. So we're migrating that website over now.
Okay,
So, yeah.
very good. On your mark, get set, breakthrough. All right, so who's ready to play? You ready to play?
Let's do it.
Okay, I don't claim myself as being a Bible expert, so you're going to win the first couple rounds at least. But hopefully, I'm a quick study, so hopefully I'll.
How about this?
I'll
So
hang in there.
the first thing you want to do is it's going to come in there. It's going to be 2 particular decks that's in there. You just want to shuffle them.
Okay.
For this time being, we're going to be very, very short on it. You're going to pass out 8 cards. 5, 6, 7, 8.
How'd you pick 8?
That's a long story. Everything,
We got 5
believe it or
minutes.
not, believe it or not, everything I wanted to have a meaning. So even with the seasons, I didn't name season 1, season 2, season 3. I actually named it with preparation as the first season, testing, valley, mountaintop, and desert. Those are the 5 seasons, so I named them. With 8 is the number of new beginning. That represents new beginning. So even in the game, we have 3 action cards. There's a grace card. So if you're playing this game, it's a grace card that basically says you can use this whatever book you want. So if you are missing a history book, you can use that in place of it. So think of the grace card as a wild card.
Gotcha.
We have a repent card, which is pretty fun to use because it's like repent is skip card. So if you're doing something wrong and we're playing, we're like, look, you need to repent. You need to sit back. And then our last card, which is our breakthrough card. Our breakthrough card allows you to skip from one season to the next season without doing any particular work. Now, there's a caveat on there that there's 2 ways you can use it. The breakthrough card can be used, one as a quick boost, where it allows me to look in your hand and take 2 cards. Or I can use it as a challenge. And the challenge is where you have to name 10 Bible books in order within 30 seconds. But the kicker there is that the dealer decides where you start. So you can't always just start with Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. You can't start there. You have the dealer's going to decide there. So once you deal the 8 cards here, you just pick them up. Colors, arrows mean absolutely nothing. I will show, not David, You're going to see orange, green, and also blue cards that's in there. Again, colors and arrows mean absolutely nothing. So the first thing you want to do is match up. So the first season is one history Bible book and any 2 pairs. Your any 2 pairs could be, first Samuel, and then the second can be Malachi, or if you don't have a second Malachi, you can have a Malachi and a grace card, right? And then you still have to have a history Bible book as well. So I will choose Joshua for my history Bible book. So that's the plan, is you want to collect those requested cards. So once you have your cards, now you're going to always pick up a card.
So I have no pairs, so can I ask for redeal?
No.
No redeals. Make a note, there's no redeals.
No mulligan for all my golfers.
All right, so...
Yep. So now you want to pick up one card.
Okay, trying to get a pair.
You're only going to pick up one card, and you're trying to get one pair.
This is what I got.
Actually, you want to get 2 pairs and a history Bible book.
All right, I have no pairs.
Okay. Now you always have to discard.
That's not. I shouldn't say that out loud.
No, you shouldn't say that out loud.
Just disregard it. Scratch that. Have to add that to the footage.
Now you want to discard one
card. It shows you I'm weak. It's like telling my poker hand I got no pairs, no triples, nothing. Huh?
Now,
what's the best discard?
Whatever card. So it's really, I hate to say, it's like
play open hand. Would that be?
We should play open hand. We can play open hand. Let's do that.
I feel like I'm playing with my kids now.
All right.
The first one's open hand, so there's no winners and losers.
Yep.
But that way you guys can watch and understand what we're doing, and I don't have to look foolish in front of all of you either, which is great too.
All right, so right now, obviously, it's still going to be a thing of chance of like, what card will I get? Similar to phase 10, you don't really know what numbers you're going to get. You may throw down the very card you're going to pick up the next hand.
Oh, I see.
So you definitely don't want to throw Joshua out, because that's going to be your history Bible book. And now, do you have any pairs? You don't have any pairs. So now you have to make a decision. Similar to in life, seasons. What are you going to do when you're in that preparation moment? And while we're playing the game, when you get stuck in the desert, that's a laughing point. It's like, hey, man, you stuck in that desert. You need to get out. But it's also those teachable moments that we can have with our kids, that even when we're playing this game and it's playing with purpose, how are you going to respond when you get stuck in the desert?
Right.
How are you going to respond if you're golfing outside? Like, even any event, whether it's sports or whatever, it's all about the reaction. Like, when you get stuck in that rut, when we're creating card games and it's tough at that moment, are we going to push through? Are we going to sink, or are we going to swim? There's all these different terminologies that we use, but the fact of the matter is that you have to learn through that process and through that season. So in this case, you just want to discard any card you want.
Oh, Mike. My nephew is Micah, so we'll get rid of him.
All right. Oh, Micah. So when you discard it, yeah, it sounds like a good choice.
You said, ooh.
Well, I said it because you got rid of Michael, your nephew. Either one.
So this is you playing. What do you got?
Yeah, so you don't want
what's the strategy behind getting rid of a certain one?
So the strategy, there's 3, great question. There's 3 cards of...
See, I do have some good questions. Thanks for listening.
You had all great questions. So there's 3 cards of each.
Okay.
So there's 3 Genesis, there's 3 cards of each Bible book. All right. There's 7 grace cards. There is 3 repent cards, and there's 2 breakthrough cards. So one question I always get is like, well, will we ever get stuck? No, that's why the math behind every single thing, a lot of people don't know, well, Uno, phase 10, skip bowl, whatever the games is, there's a certain percentage of cards you have to have that are action cards that will get you out of that rut. So we have that there. None of these cards
are action cards.
Are action cards, and I don't have, so you can just get rid of Obadiah. And when we play, we always say Obadiah. I don't know why, but everybody always makes fun of it makes it a little bit more fun.
Yeah, exactly.
So now you throw out, I'm going to pick up Hosea. I don't have that either, so I'm still going to throw out, I'm going to see if
he's looking at my card. You see this?
Only because I'm trying to hook you up here. All right, so you don't have it, so now you're going to pick. So essentially, that's what we're going to do. We're going to keep playing until we get 2 pairs for this season, and then 1 history Bible book. And once you have that, that's when you have to lay it down. Now, the game does not end there. So let's just pretend that this is my history, even though it's not a history Bible book. Have that, and now the game now is to actually get rid of your cards, similar to phase 10. Mm-hmm. So instead of hitting your cards, I'm going to call it, we're going to bless your cards. So even when you're playing this game, you're speaking life to people. I have a grace card. Who doesn't feel good about having a grace card?
Sure.
So when I bless your card, or bless my season, or bless your season, I'm speaking life to you as well. Not to be really deep about it, but it's like just the terminology. I had kids over, and they were playing, and I did so many rounds of play testing. I had kids over, and they spent the night. and they woke up, David, and they said, "Hey, can we play Seasons?" This is early, and I looked back at my wife. I said, "I think we got something."
I think they're hooked.
I think they're hooked. But it was good because they proactively said we wanted to play Seasons, and consequently, from that point, you know, there was two of the teens that wasn't really comfortable with the Bible, and then that one night of playing, and the next time they were very comfortable to say, "Hey, I'm not afraid of being able to, you know, mess this up. I messed up the game. I know the books of the Bible, but if I got the breakthrough card here, strategic wise, I may not play the breakthrough. I may use it as a quick boost and mess your game up."
Right. All about the strategy.
It's all about the strategy. So, and depending on where you at, if I'm in season 4, I mean, because there's consequences that if you have your season out and I still play the breakthrough, then I have to put all of my cards back in there and start back over. So there's a lot of strategy play in it. You mentioned this again. There's some high schools that we have here. Charlotte Christian actually had a couple decks that I met with a gentleman that was there. I had to throw people's names out there. I met with him, and they had it there, and yeah. So we're pretty excited for the partnerships and the things that we're gonna do this year.
Excellent. And I hope all of you are excited to pick up this game. Again, this is Pierre. His game is called Seasons, and you can get it at playseasons.com. I'll give you a second. Go right down. Playseasons.com.
That's it.
And it's great just to run for every age. Is there an age group at all?
Yep, ages 7 and up. My daughter, who's here with us today, she's 7. Okay. But when I invented, she was 6. So she would probably understand. She understands the game.
Above,
yeah, kindergarten above. But even if they can't use it, now it's flashcards. So I have a video where she's just putting it and she's making a song. Genesis, Exodus. I can probably have her come on right now, and then she can name it. So she's putting them in order. So now when she's getting ready to play the game, she'll be ready to go. So y'all better watch out for Bella.
Yeah, I have a Bella too. You gotta watch out for my Bella too. Well, very good. Well, thank you so much for coming today.
Yeah, thank you.
It's a pleasure having you. Yes, sir. I hope you guys have enjoyed today's episode and learned a little bit about the new game called Seasons. You're watching the Wake Up Call Network. This is the Perky Collar Radio and TV show, and we'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Take a couple minutes to talk about my business and some of the things that I'm doing. Give you a reason to tune in each week. So I'm an inventor. Everyone's like to say they've met an inventor. It's something special. I just decided to solve a problem and create a solution instead of complaining about the problem. So I created a product called the Perky Collar. It is a collar support system for dress shirts. The packaging is right here. And what the product does, it lifts the collar up. So if I'm not wearing a tie, I can maintain a high collar professional look. So what it looks like is this. It has a nice magnetic lid with a box, so you can store accessories in here, and this is what the tool looks like. Nothing fancy, but it does a great job of lifting the collar up so it doesn't droop and sag. Let me show you how it works. So this is how you want your shirt to look if you're not wearing a tie, but you can see as soon as I remove the collar support, how quickly the placket starts to fold, the collar starts to tuck under, it just looks sloppy. And if I went to any downtown of any city across the country, 90% of the men are walking out like this unless they have ties on. And the tie is almost dead. So because it's dead, I decided to come up with a product that can help people not wear a tie, but not look sloppy at the same time. So here's how it works. Lift the collar up. You want to leave your collar stays in, because collar stays prevent collars from curling. That's a different problem. Take the Perky collar, drop it down, and then put the collar down on top of it. And that's it. And now you're back to a nice high collar professional look. Sometimes you adjust this a little bit to make sure it's even. And there goes the folded placket, there goes the tucking under my blazer, and it's back to a nice, clean, crisp look. Now, where can you find the Perky collar? I'm sure that's the question you're about to ask. Let me answer that question for you. It's PerkyLLC.com, spelled PerkyLLC.com. So this product's been on the market for about 2.5 years. We've now sold 10,020 as of today, and looking forward to our next 10,000 sold. To complement the Perky collar, I've also reached out to other inventors all across the country to complement the Perky collar, and I met a gentleman out of St. Louis, Missouri named Cedric Cobb, and he invented what's called the Best Pocket Square Holder. So he sells a Perky collar on his websites and shows. I sell his pocket square holder on my website, and that way people looking for innovation can find innovation on his website along with innovation on my website. So his product looks like this. It's called the Best Pocket Square Holder, and here's what it does. It solves the problem of the droopy, saggy pocket squares. So pocket squares, when you fold them, they always unfold and always fall down your jacket pocket. So this device looks like this. You simply squeeze the device, drop the folded pocket square or pocket round in the device. It locks it in place. And then because the height of the pocket square holder, it just drops right into the pocket, keeping it perfectly looking great and not having to mess with it over and over again throughout the day. And that's a pocket square holder. Both items sell for $25 on the website. Again, you're talking $50 total for both items, but they make a world of difference. If you haven't bought holiday gifts yet for the men in your life that just are hard to buy for, these are two great innovative products that I'm sure they would truly enjoy. I'm not finished yet. We also have what's called button-up collar stays. Now, collar stays are around since the 1950s. I'm tired of talking about collar stays. Well, these collar stays are different. This is a gentleman out of Wichita, Kansas. His name is Mike Fisher, and he invented a collar stay, but it has an added function of a hook on the end. And that's to help you fasten buttons on your sleeve, as well as help you fasten maybe the top button of your shirt. And especially for older people that have dexterity issues, arthritis, carpal tunnel, this can be a real challenge, a real difficulty each and every day. And if your wife's not there to help you, or your child's not there to help you, you want to be able to dress yourself each and every day. So this becomes a great tool. And then for younger guys out there, you just use it as a collar stay. If you're an older gentleman, use it to button your sleeve buttons, and then use it as a collar stay. So this little pack here has stainless steel collar stays. You have 3 different sizes, because obviously every collar is different lengths. And it's metal, so you don't have to worry about it causing your collars to curl. It's a great complement to the Perky collar, because the Perky collar does not prevent collars from curling. You need to wear collar stays. So why not wear button-up collar stays that can also help you fasten your buttons at the same time? So that's the button-up collar stays. These are $20, also available on perkyllc.com. Next up is holeless belts. And I'm sure you're all thinking, oh, I've seen the Mission belt on Shark Tank. I've seen that. Well, this is different. This is 100% cowhide. That's one of the biggest differences. It's the same type of leather they use on the saddles of horses. So it's much thicker, stronger leather. There's no ratchet system here, unlike the Comfort Click belt that's all over TV right now. Instead, the technology is in the buckle. So all you're going to simply do is you're going to put the belt through and locks in place. Now, it's holiday time. We're all gaining weight, let's be honest, okay? So what we do, instead of having to go up an inch or down an entire inch based on our weight fluctuation, we just simply tilt the buckle a little bit, bring it in a little bit. If I lost a little weight, and it locks back in place. If I just had a big holiday meal, I loosen the teeth a bit, back in place. Again, I don't have to go up or down an entire inch. These are beautiful. They come in brown, which is what I have here. They come in cognac, which is what I have displayed here. And they also come in black. They are a limited supply. They are very hard to get a hold of for whatever reason. But I do have about a dozen left to service the community. And I can guarantee you, whoever you give this belt to will never wear a whole belt again, because it's a frustration to have to poke your own holes, to stretch the holes out because you gain a little weight, lose a little weight. The belt never fits right. We don't gain weight by 1 inch increments. So why we have a belt that only goes up or down by an inch? So those are all the innovative products that we have on the website. And in closing, we also have some fashion items on our website, because we realize that people that are buying innovative products also like to look good with different pocket squares, different pocket rounds. Well, my wife makes all of our pocket squares and pocket rounds. They're also all available on our website, perkyllc.com. And here's an example of one of her pocket rounds. Those of you who've never seen a pocket round before, it's the same as a pocket square, just circular. But you notice it's 2-sided. No one else does that. You notice the stitch work is 2 different colors. We got light blue on one side and kind of a royal blue on the other. But again, when folded, it really becomes a work of art. So just to kind of give you a quick example of how beautiful a pocket round is, this is an example. And then when you use the pocket square holder, it prevents the pocket square from unfolding, or pocket round, again in this case, from unfolding. So when you put it in the pocket, it stays perfect all day long. So again, pocket squares, pocket rounds, all handmade, all limited edition on the website. We've also added some pre-tied and self-tied bow ties. They're all limited edition, all very unique. We also have some little bow tie lapel buttons. These actually are buttons that go in the lapel of a jacket to act as a color accent, to bring out a color maybe in the pinstripe, a color in your shirt, color in your pocket square, pocket round, just a great little accent. And again, it's not a pin, it's actually a button that goes in the buttonhole. And then finally we have some silk scarves that were designed by my 17-year-old daughter, who's an incredibly gifted artist. We took her canvas paintings and turned them into 60 by 20 and 50 by 50 scarves. And then for the men, we created some 16-inch by 16-inch pocket squares that are beautiful to put into your jacket pocket of your blazer. Again, you've been watching the Perky Collar radio and TV show here on the Wake Up Call Network. I thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you tune in again next week. And until then, we'll see you next time.